Morning, students. Today we are going to study about resources and industries. Do you think we have a lot of resources in India? Yes, we have. What is a resource? Resource is nothing but it is a naturally available source which may be used to make a final product or usable product. Then it is called as a resource. Any matter or energy derived from the environment that is used by living things, including humans, is called a natural resource. Example: air, water, soil, minerals, fossil fuels, plants, animals, etc. Many natural resources are used as raw materials. These resources are playing a very important role in the economic development of any region. Based on their continued availability, the resources are classified into renewable and non renewable resources. What is a mineral? Mineral is nothing but it is a natural substance of organic or inorganic origin with definite chemical and physical properties. From where will we get this? They are mostly found under the surface of the earth. The process of digging the soil and taking out the mineral is known as mining. The place where we find the minerals are mines. They are open pit mines and shaft mines. Open pit mines are near the earth crust and shaft mines are deep inside the earth. What are the various types of minerals? On the basis of their chemical and physical properties, minerals are classified into metallic and non-metallic minerals. First, you see, what are the various organizations we have to know about these minerals? The organizations associated with minerals in India are the Geological Survey of India. Its headquarters is located at Kolkata. Indian Bureau of Mines headquarters is located at Nagpur, and Non-Ferrous Material Technology Development Center located at Hyderabad. All these are the various organizations we can say. The Ministry of Mines is responsible for the administration of all mines and minerals. It is as per Development and Regulation Act 1957. First, let us see what are the metallic minerals. These minerals contain one or more metallic elements. Metallic minerals occur in rare. They are in the form of metals such as iron, manganese, copper, bauxite, nickel, zinc, lead, gold, etc. Iron ore is the most widely distributed elements of the earth crust. India is rich in iron deposits. The total recoverable reserves of iron ore in India are about 9,602 million tons of hematite and 3,408 million tons of magnetite. Jharkhand is the leading producer of iron ore with 25% of the country's production. Odisha stands in the next place with 21%. The magnetite production of Chhattisgarh is 18%. Karnataka is 20%. In Tamil Nadu, the notable places of iron production are Salem, Namakkal, Tiruvannamalai, Tiruchirappalli, Coimbatore, Madurai, and Tirunelveli. The Ministry of Steel is responsible for planning and development of iron and steel industry in India. So, what are the various types of iron? Iron ores are rocks and minerals from which metallic iron can be economically extracted. The ores are usually rich in iron oxides and vary in color from dark gray, bright yellow, or deep purple to rusty red. The iron is usually found in following forms. The forms of iron may be magnetite, hematite, goethite, limonite, and siderite. Okay. So, what about the iron content percentage in this magnetite? It is 72.4%. Here you have seen a term ore. What do you mean by ore? Ore is nothing but impure form of iron is called as iron ore. Any mineral, when we say ore, it is the impure form of that mineral that is only called as ore. Iron ore, manganese ore, copper ore, anything. Okay, so when we get magnetite iron, that is with 72.4% of pure iron and other percentage is impure materials, or we can say the waste materials. Okay, that is only this table explains to us. So when we talk about this iron, next one we may see the manganese. Okay, manganese is also one of the important mineral. It is a silvery gray element. It is very hard and brittle when we say it is broken or easily breakable, we can say. Okay, உடையக்கூடியது in nature. It is one of the basic raw material for iron and steel industry. To manufacture 1 ton of steel, we need 10 kilograms of manganese. This is also used in the manufacturing of bleaching powder. I think you know what is bleaching powder. Insecticides, paints, and batteries. Manganese deposits occur mainly as metamorphosed bedded sedimentary rocks. The largest deposits of manganese are found in Odisha, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Goa, Andhra Pradesh, and Jharkhand. The organization which deals with this manganese is called as MOIL, M-O-I-L. It is a state-owned manganese ore mining company headquartered in Nagpur. With a market share of 50%, it was the largest producer of manganese ore in India. Next, let us study about copper. It is the first metal that prehistoric man has started using for many purposes. It is flexible. It can be made into utensils of any shape. Brass and bronze are obtained when the copper alloys with zinc and tin respectively. That is when copper is mixed with zinc, it is giving us brass. When it is mixed with tin, it will give us bronze. Copper has been commonly used for making cooking utensils and other objects of common utility. It is even used in electrical machinery, wires, and cables. Now we can see about that copper organization. Hindustan Copper Limited. It is a government-owned corporation in the Central Public Enterprise under the Ministry of Mines, India. HCL is the only vertically integrated copper producer in India, engaged in a wide spectrum of activities ranging from mining, beneficiation, smelting, refining, and continuous cast rod manufacturer. Jharkhand is the largest producer of copper. Next comes Odisha, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Next mineral is bauxite. I think you know the aluminum utensils. Aluminum is from where we are getting this aluminum. Aluminum is extracted from bauxite. It is found in the rock consisting mainly of hydrated aluminum oxides. Bauxite is widely found in laterite soil region. The name bauxite has been derived after the French word "le box." It is a lightweight metal used in the manufacture of aircrafts and automobile engines. It is also used in cement and chemical industries. Bauxite is mainly distributed in Odisha, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and Tamil Nadu. Now see the Aluminium Company Limited, that is National Aluminium Company Limited, abbreviated as NALCO. Okay, it was started or established in the year 1981, has units in Odisha at places like Angul, Damanjodi. It was incorporated as a public sector enterprise of the Ministry of Mines, Government of India in 1981. Next, we are going to see about the non-metallic minerals. Already we have studied metallic minerals. Now we are going to study about non-metallic minerals. These minerals are not in the form of metals. Example, mica, limestone, gypsum, nitrate, potash, dolomite, coal, petroleum, etc. First, let us see about mica. The term mica means I shine. Okay, what is it? I shine. Mica was used in Ayurvedic medicine. Abrak is a good quality mica. In electrical industry, mica is used in large quantity. It is translucent, easily splittable into thin sheets, flat, colorless, elastic, and incompressible. It can withstand high voltage. It is a non-conductor of electricity. It is also used in making of lubricants, medicines, paints, and varnishes. Mica is mainly formed in Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, um, Odisha, and Jharkhand. Next non-metallic mineral, limestone. Limestone is associated with rocks composed of either calcium carbonate or the double carbonate of calcium and magnesium or mixture of both. Okay, it is composed of either calcium carbonate or the double carbonate of calcium and magnesium or mixture of both. It contains silica, alumina, iron oxides, phosphorus, and sulfur. It is used in soda ash, caustic soda, bleaching powder, cement, iron and steel, glass, and fertilizers. Okay, this limestone is used in industries such as soda ash, caustic soda, bleaching powder, paper, cement, iron and steel, glass, and fertilizers. Limestone is mainly distributed in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. The next mineral may be gypsum. This is a hydrated sulfate of calcium. What is gypsum? It is a hydrated sulfate of calcium. This is generally found in sedimentary rocks. Okay, sedimentary rocks. This occurs in white, opaque, and or transparent mineral. This is used in the cement industry, fertilizer industry, wallboard, plaster of Paris, and in soil conditioning. This is mainly distributed in the places like or in the states like Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, and Tamil Nadu. Next, let us study about the various energy resources. In between energy resources, what do you mean by energy resources? Energy resources are nothing but the resources which are useful for producing electricity. Okay, the resources from which electricity can be generated, that is called as energy resource. As we all know, electricity is an important component of our life. It is the key factor for all economic activities and industrial development. Energy resources can be classified into renewable and non-renewable resources. What are the various energy resources we have? Coal, petroleum, natural gas, and nuclear minerals are non-renewable, whereas water, sunlight, wind, biogas, tides, etc. are renewable sources of energy. First, let us see about that coal, non-renewable resource, coal. It is an inflammable organic substance composed mainly of hydrocarbons. It is also known as black gold. Why it is called as black gold? It is so valuable. It is used in various industries because it is helpful for generation of electricity, thermal power generation, and also closely associated with the industrial development of any country. Based on carbon content, this coal may be classified into anthracite coal, bituminous coal, lignite, peat. So, according to that content of carbon, anthracite coal contains 80 to 90% of carbon, bituminous contains 60 to 80% of carbon, lignite contains 40 to 60 percentage of carbon, and peat contains less than 40 percentage of carbon. Coal has varied and innumerable uses. It can be converted into gas oil, electricity, and thermal power. It is the basic raw material for the production of chemicals, dyes, fertilizers, paints, synthetic, and explosives. Coal is mainly found in the states of Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Jammu and Kashmir, etc. So we can see about that Coal India Limited. Coal India Limited is an Indian state-controlled coal mining company headquartered in Kolkata, West Kolkata, West Bengal. Its field offices are located at Dhanpad, Ranchi, Bilaspur, Nagpur, Chambalpur, Kottagudam, and Asansol. It is the largest coal producing company in the world. Next, let us see about that petroleum and natural gas. So, the word petroleum has been derived from two Latin words. Petro means rock and oleum means oil. This is oil obtained from rocks of the earth. This is also inflammable liquid that is composed of hydrocarbons which constitute 90 to 95% of petroleum, and the remaining is chiefly organic compounds. It is used as a source of power and fuel for automobiles, aeroplanes, ships, and locomotives. Its byproducts are lubricants, kerosene, Vaseline, tar, soap, terling, and wax. This can be obtained both from onshore as well as offshore areas. Okay. So petroleum and natural gas, there is a ministry for that. The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas is a ministry of the Government of India. It is only responsible for the exploration, production, refining, distribution, marketing, import, export, and conservation of petroleum, natural gas, petroleum products, and liquefied natural gas in India. As of 2017, the estimated crude oil resource of the country is 604.10 million tons. In offshore, we can get 54 percentage, and in onshore we can get 54 percentage, and in offshore we can get only 46 percentage. So you can see where are the various oil fields found in India in this box. The onshore western coast oil fields are Mumbai High oil fields, Gujarat coast, Basim oil field, Aliabad oil field, Ankleshwar, Kombiluni region, Ahmedabad Kalol region. Whereas in eastern coast, Brahmaputra Valley, Digboy oil fields, Nagarotia oil field, Moran region oil field, Rudrasagar lava oil field, Sarma Valley, offshore of Andaman and Nicobar Island. Next, let us study about natural gas. It is naturally occurring hydrocarbon gas mixture of consisting primary it is naturally occurring hydrocarbon gas consisting primarily of methane, but commonly include varying amounts of other higher alkanes and sometimes a small percentage of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and hydrogen sulfides. It is formed when layers of decomposed plants and animals are exposed to intense heat and pressure over thousands of years. So how it is formed? It is formed when layers of decomposed plants and animals are exposed to very high level of heat and pressure over thousands of years. We may get this natural gas. It is used for heating, cooking, fuel for vehicles, used in the manufacture of plastics, and electricity generation. So here we are going to see about that Gas Authority of India Limited. It is the largest state-owned natural gas processing and distribution company In India, it is headquartered in New Delhi. It has the following business segments: natural gas, liquid hydrocarbon, liquefied petroleum gas transmission, petrochemical, city gas distribution, exploration, and production. India has a very large proportion of tertiary rock and alluvial deposits, mainly in peninsula side. Natural gas is distributed in Gujarat, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Arunachal Pradesh, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, and West Bengal. Okay, in all these places we can find this natural gas. Oil exploration is done by this Gas Authority of India Limited. Recently, natural gas has been found even in Krishna Godavari Delta. So, these are all the non-conventional energy sources. We are going to see about the conventional energy sources. Thermal power. Thermal power is generated using fossil fuels like coal, diesel, petroleum, and natural gas. National Thermal Power Corporation was established in 1975. At present, this National Thermal Power Corporation has 13 coal-based super thermal power projects and 7 gas or liquid fuel-based combined cycle projects are there. Tamil Nadu produces 5% of the total thermal electricity. Nuclear power. Electricity generated from uranium and thorium is called as nuclear power. This was initiated in the year 1940 when Tata Atomic Research Commission was incorporated in August 1948. The first nuclear power station was set up at Tarapur near Mumbai in the year 1969 with the capacity of 320 megawatt electricity generation. Now we have atomic power stations in Ravadbata, Kalpakam, Kodangulam, Narora, Gaiga and Kakrapara. The Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited is an Indian public sector undertaking based in Mumbai, Maharashtra. It is wholly owned by the Government of India and is responsible for the generation of nuclear power for electricity. NPCIL is administered by the Department of Atomic Energy, is responsible for designing, constructing and operating the nuclear power stations in India. Next, renewable and non-conventional sources of energy. In between, you may see Tamil Nadu has the largest installation of wind turbines. This is one of the non-conventional energy source. Okay, wind energy. In the Muppandal, Perungudi near Kanyakumari is the largest concentration of wind farm capacity at a single location in the world. So, power generated from water is termed as hydroelectricity. It is from running water. It is economic and pollution free. 7% of global electricity production is from water. Cost of production is very low. Rivers of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland and Tripura account for 30.4% of electricity generation. East flowing rivers contribute 20.9% and west flowing rivers contribute 10.5% of electricity generation. Next important thing is solar energy. Electricity generated from sunlight. Concentrated solar power systems use lenses or mirrors and tracking system to focus a large area of sunlight into a small beam. Okay, that is using sunlight and generating electricity is called as solar energy. Photovoltaics convert light into an electric current using the photovoltaic effect. Next, we shall see solar power is used in what are the various areas we can use that solar power. It may be used in water heaters, refrigerators, drying, street lighting, cooking, pumping, power generation, photovoltaic cells, etc. They are mainly found in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh. Wind energy. Wind is extracted. Already we have seen wind is one of the most important non-conventional source of energy. It is extracted from airflow using wind turbines. It is cheap and pollution free. Power from windmills are used for pumping water and to sail propel ships. Wind power is plentiful, renewable, widely distributed, clean, and produces no greenhouse gas emissions during its operation. The development of wind power in India began in 1986 in coastal areas of Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. Now let us see about the National Institute of Wind Energy. It is in Chennai, was established in the year 1998 as an autonomous institution under the administrative control of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. This National Institute of Wind Energy, activities of this is mainly resource assessment and testing and certification. Last one is, not the last one, next one is biomass energy. Biomass energy is nothing but the energy generated through that biodegradable materials like animal dung, kitchen waste, water hyacinth, agricultural residues, and city waste, etc. It is clean and cheap source of energy. It is clean and cheap source, we can say. This energy is mostly used for domestic purposes. The last non-conventional source of energy is tidal and wave energy. Energy produced from ocean tides and ocean waves are called as tidal and wave energy. India possesses 8,000 to 9,000 megawatt of tidal energy. At present, 900 megawatt tidal power plant is proposed to be set up in the Gulf of Kutch region. And wave energy plant has been installed at Vizhinjam near Thiruvananthapuram. Another plant has been set up near Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, so in this lesson we have studied about various minerals which are found in India, and also we have studied about various energy sources. In the next part of the video, we'll study about the various